what up? Welcome back to another video on one of the YouTube channels ever, and I'm gonna start off today's video by saying that we all owe Sunny V2 an apology. And the apology we owe him is for the amount of flack and hate he received for his video, Why Kris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for Mr. Beast. This video truly aged like a fine wine. He had a vision far before anyone else could see it, and this is honestly one of the biggest I told you so moments ever. But with our apology to Sunny V2 out of the way, we can get into the recent situation that's been going on with Ava Kris Tyson. And I'm pretty sure most of you already know who Kris Tyson is and what's going on with this situation, but if you don't, Kris Tyson was one of Mr. Beast's best friends and basically showed up in all of his videos. But recently, he's been exposed for some pretty crazy things, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about in this video, all the way from him buying potentially illegal art from a known CP artist, and I'm not talking cyberpunk, and not only did he buy the art, but he hung it on his living room wall, to him getting exposed for texting and talking to minors inappropriately on several occasions. So make sure you're strapped in and ready, cause this video is definitely gonna be a ride, and I feel like the best way to start it off is with Kris's response / apology. And spoiler alert, we're gonna find out fast that this really isn't even an apology. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. It's so often that people are getting exposed for basically the same thing nowadays that I swear I've seen this same response a million times. This is one of the most cookie cutter apologies ever. If you told me he loaded up ChatGPT and told it to make the most default apology ever, I'd believe it. And like I said earlier, I don't even know if you can call this an apology because he didn't even apologize for anything specific. You apologized for what? And to who? At the end there, he also says he needs to take some time to focus on his family, and as messed up as it sounds, I really think that's one of the last things that you need to be doing. After what happened in these situations and what we're gonna get into later, I don't really think you should be around your very young child, especially after showing interest in children on multiple occasions. One of the responses under this post also brings up a great point in saying, if you're apologizing, are you saying all of the allegations are true? Because that's what this statement appears to be suggesting, which I honestly 100% agree with that. In really any given situation, if you have a ton of allegations being brought against you and they weren't true, the first thing that you would try to do is defend yourself. And throughout Kris's response, we're really not gonna see him try to defend himself or disprove any of these allegations at all. And going back to the post, even Keemstar hops in to give his thoughts as well. You didn't apologize to me a month ago in private when I brought up your behavior supporting a cartoon CP artist that drew my 8-year-old daughter in a way. What changed? Now this really is a great point as well, and I'll tell you what changed, Keemstar. He got exposed for it, and now he has to apologize. He's not sorry for what he did, he's sorry that he got caught. Because if he was genuinely sorry for what he did, he would have said it far before now. This response from Keemstar is also a great segue into one of the major things that Kris got exposed for, and that's buying and possibly even commissioning art from a known CP artist. And it's not like Kris didn't know the type of art that this guy made, because as we're gonna see here in a bit, he went out of his way to ask for this specific type of art. He also publicly showed interest in it multiple times. And probably one of the most blatant pieces of proof that we have of this comes from this post right here, and it's honestly not just this post, it's also in one of Mr. Beast's videos. I think it's the video that he was giving away $10,000 to pizza delivery people, but we're still gonna be taking a look at this post. Also, before I get into this post, I just wanted to toss in that while I was recording this video, I just wanted to check the video to make sure that that was the right one. It turns out that Mr. Beast or his team deleted the part of this video that did have the artwork in it, so if you really do want to find it that bad, there are re-uploads of it. Kris claimed to own this Shadman art and have it hung up on their wall, which was proven true in the pizza delivery video back in the day. And then he links a couple of different pictures of Kris showing off this art, and of course most of them are gonna be blurred. I'm also gonna toss up one that's a bit more zoomed in on the video itself that you can find it in, and like I said, it's of course gonna be blurred out because the character depicted in this art is not even remotely close to 18, nor do they look it. In this specific picture right here as well, I also wanted to point out that it almost looks like Mr. Beast is looking at the art as well, probably just wondering, what the fuck is that? But this also, of course, isn't the only instance of artwork like this being shown from Kris. He also made a post himself showing off this artwork and saying bonus fidget spinners to really throw in some extra autism at Shadbase. There's also many more examples of him showing interest in and even requesting more of this type of artwork, but I feel like what we have here is definitely more than enough proof, so we can hop back to his response slash apology because there is more. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations at Lava GS has vocally supported that they are false. So the Lava person that he's talking about here is one of the minors that he was talking to and groomed. Now his defense in this post is that he didn't groom this person because they claimed it themselves that they weren't groomed, and it's honestly hard for me to agree with that. And before we get into everything wrong with this, let's take a look at Lava's response for context. These videos are massive lies and twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. This situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. I'm not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos or at all. Now, even after reading his response, this still really doesn't change very much of anything at all. And I'm obviously not gonna sit here and completely invalidate this guy's emotions and what he's saying about this situation, because if he really feels like he wasn't groomed and he wasn't a victim, then he's definitely allowed to feel that way. But with the outside perspective looking in, all this really looks like is a successful case of grooming. If you're grooming someone and all goes to plan, of course they're gonna defend you and say that you did nothing wrong because they successfully groomed you. And as messed up as it is, I don't really think he's in the position to say if he was or wasn't groomed, because to me, this is kind of the same type of situation as how the age of consent works. This would almost be like if someone were to do something freaky with a minor and then later on say, oh, I didn't do anything wrong because the minor consented. That's not really how it works, and it's a horrible defense. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I've hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together and create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I've learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. It's absolutely bewildering how he's trying to downplay basically this entire situation as just a few bad, edgy jokes. And if it really was just bad, edgy jokes, and that really was the case, which parts were the bad, edgy jokes then, Kris? The part where you genuinely purchased art depicting a child and constantly showed interest in it? Or the part where you were interacting with real-life, genuine children inappropriately on multiple occasions? Because I don't know about you, but those don't really sound like jokes to me, considering they actually happened. That'd be like if I were to beat the goofy out of someone and then rob them, and then later off claim it to be a bad joke. No, it wasn't really a joke, man. You actually beat the goofy out of someone and robbed them. There was no joke. It all happened. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I've stepped away. Man, finally a good piece of news in this situation. And speaking of Mr. Beast, I'm not gonna say that he's at fault or anything here, obviously, but there's no way that he didn't know about this. Especially considering he was sitting in the same room that Kris had the artwork up on the wall. Now sure, Mr. Beast may not have known the artist that created that work and what he does, but what he could see is the artwork at hand, which clearly depicted a character that is very young. And a lot of people are dogpiling Mr. Beast and saying, wow, you should have said something earlier, you should have exposed him, but I really think that people are kind of overestimating how much Mr. Beast knew about what was going on with Kris. Because even if he did know a bit about the artwork, like I just showed there, which he's sitting in the room with the picture, that clearly doesn't really give him the whole story, nor does it give him enough to basically completely cut ties with someone that was one of his best friends, which I'm sure did play a huge role in it. I can 100% imagine that it's super hard to completely cut off and out someone that's been one of your best friends for years and has really been there with you for majority of your journey to success. So as it stands right now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut Mr. Beast a bit of slack here unless some more information comes out that he knew way more than we thought, which if it does, I'd of course change my opinion, but at least right now, I'm not really gonna put too much of the blame on him. But with Chris's response out of the way, now we can take a look at some of the leaked text and videos of him talking to these different minors. And the video that we're gonna be taking a look at comes from a post by the Twitter account I Exposed Racists and and just by that name alone, if you end up on this account, you're as good as cooked. But it says, Mr. Beast's best friend Kris Tyson tried to rope a 14-year-old boy. And before I continue with this post, I'm gonna just go ahead and say, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't really think it ever got that bad, but let's continue. 2019 Snapchat messages between Kris Tyson and a 14-year-old at the time were posted to X, but were taken down. Kris Tyson met with a 13-year-old during a giveaway organized by Mr. Beast. Do you believe that Mr. Beast didn't know about his best friend's lust for children? And then he has a video under this that leaks a bunch of the texts and conversations between Kris and these minors. Now this first part here is just him scrolling through some of the Snapchat messages. If you really want to read those, you can, but I can barely fucking see him, so I'm not going to. And the next part is really the more important part anyways, because it's some of the leaked text messages, and I actually can see these, so I'm gonna be reading some of these off. You don't want anything expensive for your birthday? I could spoil you. Alright, I know y'all probably don't like when I pause stuff too quick, but this is already getting off to a rough start. You shouldn't be talking about you can spoil someone unless it's maybe your significant other or something. This is really already starting off creepy. I barely got screen time. I wish you could see me more. I wish I was in a video. Me too. It's too soon though. I could introduce you to everyone when you get a little older. Yeah, that would be awesome. Your birthday's coming up, isn't it? Now here comes the point of no return. Depending on how old this person says they are in this text is genuinely the deciding factor of everything. We just need to pray to the gods that bro says anything over 18. Yeah, December 2nd, you're turning 14. Yep, that's it. Bro's completely 100% well done. Not even well done. Bro's burnt. He's fully cooked. If in this text they said that they're going to be turning 14 December 2nd, that means that they're not 14 right now. That means Kris wasn't talking to a 14-year-old. He was talking to a 13-year-old. And who knows how long he was talking to this person. He could have been talking to them before they were even 13. But I'm not going to speculate on what I don't know too much. It's just a thought. But regardless, I'm sure I don't even need to tell you how absolutely disgusting this is. I don't know where the party will be at. My mom is still deciding. What do you want? I could give you anything. We could play Fortnite. I beat you last time. You don't want anything expensive for your birthday? I could spoil you. We've been here for a while now. I'm tired. Texting you is the only thing keeping me awake right now. When you leave, we could play Fort or Minecraft. I love you. I love playing Minecraft with you. Yup, I think we've seen enough here. Saying I love you to a 13-year-old, unless it's your child, is outrageous. There's absolutely no coming back for bro, and I almost see why he hasn't tried to defend himself in these tweets now. When you have concrete proof like this, it's not much you can do. And I know that in a lot of situations, texts alone can't really be considered concrete proof because it's so easy to fake a text, but Kris really made it easier for all of us here by not only not defending himself, but also apologizing, and in that, we can really believe that most of these texts are real. It also doesn't stop at text though. We also have another tweet with leaked Discord calls, and I'm gonna play a bit of that now as well.
I know, dude, I would come inside of that egg and then watch her eat it, and then watch her have sex with another man while she comments about how my never satisfy her.
Now, even though a decent chunk of that was kinda cut out and censored a bit, I'm pretty sure you could get the gist of what he's saying. That was just straight up absolutely some of the most disgusting, vile garbage that I've heard in a while. But not only was that one of the most repulsive string of words possible, he's also saying all of this with a minor in the Discord. There's also another leaked Discord clip, but I'm gonna go ahead and not play that one for the sake of this video not getting age restricted or potentially even taken down. But moving on, while this situation was unfolding, there was an entire other mini drama taking place where a bunch of people were criticizing a ton of different creators on either them not speaking out on this situation at all or how they are responding to it. And in that, a ton of people are arguing that Kris is getting unfair treatment and he's not really getting judged as hardly as some of the other creators that have recently came out for similar things like Dr. Disrespect. And they're saying that the main reason for this is Kris is of course trans, and a lot of people don't really want to say the wrong thing, I guess, and seem like they're attacking the trans community. And before I even get into some of the main targets of this criticism, I just wanted to bring up that I personally don't think Kris being trans has anything to do with this situation whatsoever, nor should it even really be brought into the question at all. It's not like the people reporting on this situation are saying that, oh, since Kris is trans, that's what made him a bad person. No, people are specifically talking about the actions that he committed, not him being a trans, which doesn't have really anything to do with any of this. But we're going to be taking a look at one of the main posts of this discussion right here, and it says, Pokimane and Valkyrae when addressing Kris Tyson versus Dr. Disrespect. They posted at the exact same time to kiss up to the trans and refused to disavow Kris, but they went completely scorched earth on Doc on both X and stream. Their bias is so obvious. And then he links both of their responses, starting with Pokimane's. I don't know all the details regarding the Ava situation. Ava is also Kris. That's, I think, the new name he goes by. I've been calling him Kris because that's what I'm used to. I don't know if it's wrong or not, but whatever. I don't know all the details regarding the Ava situation, but I want to make it clear. Any inappropriate behavior towards minors is unacceptable, regardless of who you are. It's a shame that people will see this as an opportunity to attack the trans community as a whole. One person's actions does not reflect on every single trans person, so please don't view it that way. Now, I know a lot of people might agree with her response or whatever, and I know what I think is probably different from what you guys may think, but I really see this as a case in point example. Basically, nowhere in this post was she critical of Kris whatsoever. She just tossed out a general blanket statement, inappropriate behavior towards minors is unacceptable, and then she went on to try to defend the trans community when that's not even what's going on in this situation at all. No one's talking about the fucking trans community, and if they are, they're just stupid. Look in the other direction and just ignore them. Talk about what's actually going on at hand here. To me, this is really just a situation of certain creators trying to play all sides of the fucking fence and appeal to literally everybody, but all that really does is make your entire character look completely fake, and in the process, it appeals to no one. She also claims that she doesn't know the entire situation, and that's also what a lot of these other creators are claiming, but that's clearly not 100% how you judge these situations. Even before everyone knew all the stuff that was going on with the Dr. Disrespect situation, basically everyone just dogpiled on him and completely ate him alive. And that's obviously not to say that what Dr. Disrespect did is good. I think it's arguably better than what Kris has done, but that is to say that I definitely do see some sort of unfair bias going on here. He also links Valkyrae's response here as well, and it's pretty much more of the same thing as Poki's. It's just her tossing out general blanket statements and never really directly addressing what Kris did. She also says that she hopes Ava speaks up as if she's playing Kris's side here and saying that, oh, you guys probably have this situation all wrong, just wait till Ava comes out and disproves it all, which I also definitely see as being unfair, because in basically any other situation involving any other creator, people's first response isn't, oh, I can't wait till this creator speaks up to try to defend themselves. No, it's like what they did with Dr. Disrespect, just completely shit on them. But as of right now, that's pretty much it with what's going on with this situation, and at this point, we're all really just waiting for a response from Mr. Beast himself to see what he has to say say about this entire situation, and with how quick this situation is evolving, I'm sure that I'm gonna have to end up making another video on it because I'm almost 100% certain that some more substantial news is gonna come out. So if you want to stay up to date on this situation, make sure to drop a subscribe, and that's pretty much it on this video, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.